Hi, welcome to my views and news. It seems that tensions are rising, gradually rising between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Direct confrontation is being seen now. Not military confrontation, but confrontation of narratives. Eritrean government remained largely silent. It activated its assets, activists, etc. But now government is involving itself directly in the launching of narrative against Ethiopian government, Ethiopian army. A post shared by Eritrean Information Ministry yesterday indicates growing tension between the two countries. What did the Minister of Information of Eritrea publish yesterday? Is it relevant? Is it related to the ongoing strained Ethiopia-Eritrea relations? Before that, when PM Abiy of Ethiopia called for access to sea, saying it was Ethiopian natural right to get access to the sea, Eritrea remained largely silent, though we saw some statements from Eritrean allies. Eritrea asked its supporters, its loyalists, to be unprovoked. But we saw statements from Eritrea, Somalia, Djibouti. The three countries rejected PM Abiy's position about natural rights to gain access to the sea. But Eritrea discreetly activated its assets. Eritrean social media activists, news outlets, YouTube channels, etc. They launched a campaign against Ethiopian PM, Ethiopian government, trying to portray Ethiopian PM as having colonial intentions, expansionist agendas, that Ethiopia wanted to annex Eritrea. That is what was launched through these news outlets. Then we saw that gradually Eritrean official sources became involved to post messages from Eritrean officials, Eritrean ambassadors, Eritrean Ministry of Information. 2 days ago, Yevgeny Gabremaskal responded to a tweet from General Bachadable, who is Ethiopian ambassador to Kenya. And Yevgeny Gabremaskal rejected Bachadable's win-win solution to resolve the conflict over Red Sea, calling it revision of history and misinformation and breach of international law. Then, last night, Eritrean Information Ministry issued a statement, a very significant statement. Though the statement is about an alleged massacre which happened in 1967 when Ethiopia and Eritrea were under one government. Eritreans say that in 1967, Ethiopian military committed a massacre of residents in Gash Burka region of Eritrea. 99 were killed in one town, in one village. And similarly, in other villages, dozens were killed in that massacre. And every year, Eritreans commemorate that massacre. They organized memorial. They organize memorials each year. But memorials organized locally. We don't see Eritrean government, Eritrean Information Ministry share details of the memorials. Yesterday, Ministry of Information of Eritrea shared details of a memorial held in Gash Barka Ad Ikud. It happened, I think, on the 15th of November. The memorial was held to commemorate the alleged massacre by Ethiopian military of Eritrean citizens which happened in 1967. And a statement has been issued by the Ministry of Information of Eritrea mentioning the massacre that it happened. And some PFDJ officials participated, they spoke there. What did they say? And what is Ministry of Information of Eritrea is saying? The speakers like Ambassador Mahmoud Ali, who is PFDJ top official of the region, he spoke there and he said that Ethiopian position, Ethiopian military's position, government's position back then was that we want land, Eritrean land, not the people. That is why they committed ethnic cleansing. They killed people. They just wanted to control Eritrean land. Secondly, the PFDJ official there, they called for struggle to protect Eritrean independence and sovereignty, saying that after sacrifices, Eritrean people gained this independence. It must be protected no matter what happens. And very importantly, Ministry of Information of Eritrea used the term Ethiopian Colonial Army. This term, these words are mentioned in the statement several times. Ethiopian Colonial Army committed this massacre. It killed people in 1967. Now, yes, the statement is about the army of 1967, but this statement is relevant to the ongoing Ethiopia-Eritrea tensions too. Eritrean government seems to be sending a message implying that Ethiopian military is still colonial, that Ethiopian leaders' intentions are still colonial, and that Eritrean land is in danger. That is why people should be united. As I said earlier, such memorials are held every year, but they are not highlighted at this level. Information Ministry of Eritrea does not give coverage at this level. It does not call Ethiopian military, Ethiopian colonial military in statements. So this is definitely an indication of growing tensions between the two countries. The indirect diplomatic war is turning into direct diplomatic war. And by the way, the other side is not pulling any punches. Ethiopian government, I have been sharing with you tweets, statements of Ethiopian ministers. Aisha Muhammad from the Afar region of Ethiopia, a minister, Birhane Lengiso, another minister. They have been speaking recently about access to the sea, sharing posts. Aisha shared a picture from a sea saying no caption is needed. So Ethiopian government officials are continuing this narrative that Ethiopia needs access to the sea. Ethiopian state media almost on daily basis is sharing documentaries, posts, interviews to strengthen Ethiopian claim to gain access to the sea. Main tension is between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Nothing is happening in Djibouti's media, by the way. I could not find any such campaign against Ethiopia in Djibouti's media or in Somalia's media. Mainly tension is between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Media outlets on both sides, journalists on both sides, activists on both sides, government officials on both sides are part of this war of words now. Alarming, I would say, because you see that it was indirect diplomatic war. Now it has turned into direct diplomatic war. It could turn into small scale military escalation. Though, if you analyze situation on the ground, there is no war coming, but there could be limited confrontation between these two countries if there is no de-escalation. So what is needed is that there should be de-escalation. And since the two leaders have not met recently, they did not meet in Saudi Arabia, they held separate meetings, which means nothing has been done to diffuse the situation. Both governments are backing their narratives. Eritrea is propagating the narrative that Ethiopia wants to annex Eritrea. Ethiopia does not respect Eritrean sovereignty, territorial integrity. Ethiopia is sending a message that it had access to two ports just 30 years ago. Now it has no port. It has every right to get access to a port because it's 120 million people are suffering. They'll die of hunger. So both narratives are being launched. And since there is no effort, or you can say no success in progress towards talks, that is why we're seeing that diplomatic war of words is intensifying. What is the solution? Solution is obviously some sort of engagement between the two countries. People say, Sajid, you don't, you shouldn't support talks. You shouldn't say that Eritrea should show flexibility and talk to Ethiopia. It means that Eritrea will sell its territorial integrity and sovereignty. Are you against Eritrea? Well, I never say that Eritrea should sell its territorial integrity or sovereignty, but talks should be held. Holding of talks does not mean that Eritrea has agreed to hand over Assab and the corridor and the coast to Ethiopia. Talks should be held because if talks are held, you'll see that the situation will be diffused. You'll see de-escalation. Talks can go on. Both sides can hold public discussions too. Talks can be broadcast live too to tell the people what is happening. But denial of talks could lead to more tensions. Eritrea is not willing to talk to Ethiopia. Ethiopia trying to force Eritrea to come to the table. So far, both sides sticking to their positions and tensions growing. Thanks for watching.